Hey folks, welcome back. This is Kirkalmighty here. This is episode 7 of my Advanced Tactics Gold multiplayer game versus the Ironduke. And I believe we are now up to turn 11, I think it is. Maybe 12, I think it's 11 now. Well, it's been, close to, it's probably about 11, turn 11. Well, this round was pretty tough going here, and I've had to really brainstorm and try to come up with some ideas. I feel like I just ran into a concrete reinforced wall here. The Ironduke has put up a very strong defense. His weak point right here, he's now built a fortress in. So I did not actually try to attack that, and I could not bring any air power into bear up here now either. See, the mud moved in, which really kind of dampened some of my plans. I did some artillery sieges. I did a little test combat up here just to see if I could break these guys right here. I figured this was a pretty safe spot to do it in. If these units got damaged, it would be hard for him to really get a good counterattack. No such luck there. I just lost a whole lot of riflemen. And then I thought for sure I'd be able to break him down here in this corner now, having him surrounded from 4 sides like this. I literally attacked him from all 4 sides. First I softened him with artillery, then I softened him with some level bombers, and then I did an attack from 4 sides, and still I could not break these guys. And I was really scratching my head on this one, and I come to realize after looking at the stats again, I just assumed fighting in jungle was very similar to like fighting in forest, but it's not. When you fight in forest, your units, let's see, so your attack modifier for most of your units except for your SMGs is a 50% reduction right here. Well, in jungle, it's not 50%, it's 75%. You lose 75% of your combat effectiveness. Now, this is no big deal to my SMGs, because, see, I'm running these SMGs down here. These guys, they're not suffering a penalty. They're actually getting a bonus for fighting in jungle. But I'm taking a 75% penalty on my mortars, a 75% penalty on my infantry guns. This is where all my offensive power is coming from, with these guys right here. And so it doesn't matter so much the SMGs are able to fight good when these guys here they have no power, they have no oomph. So I figured out that's my problem there. So trying to break him down here has become more complicated. What I've decided to do to try and help out down here, to help Modell break through down here, is a twofold plan, actually. The first part of that plan is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upgrade the infantry gun too, and I think that's going to help me across this whole line, because I've got a lot of infantry guns out there. Infantry guns in almost every unit. These guys, when they're completely filled out, they got 2 infantry guns per unit. They're not completely filled up. Well, they're mostly filled up. Yeah, 2 infantry guns per unit. When I go to stage 2, to level 2 on these infantry guns, they basically become light artillery pieces, which I've completed the upgrade on all of them this round. Now these guys are going to be able to cross the line anywhere where these units aren't moving. I'm just going to be able to basically just pound on these guys like they're just artillery. They're just like light artillery. I'm going to be able to hit them all down this whole line, which is going to help reduce entrenchment, help reduce readiness, and it may just help me break things up a little bit. Now, a really key component to my plan was being able to break through here and get to this road. And part of this test attack right here was just to see how easily I might be able to punch through there, and I found it a little more difficult than I thought. So as you can see, I've got a full infantry army here, still a little green, don't have infantry guns yet, but they're basically moving into this gap. But I need more. I need something that can punch holes in this infantry line down here. This is flat open terrain. This is just begging for some kind of an armored attack. So what I did was I did create my first armored army. Now forces are just now this turn going to start coming in here. This is going to be an extremely light armored army right here. I'm pushing my raws to the limit every single turn because I've got a lot of aircraft needs too. My air power has been one of my most effective tools right now, and unfortunately it's shut down with the mud down here, but it's helped me a lot. So I still need to produce aircraft. I rely very heavily on guns. I still need to produce guns, so I'm really pushing my raw to the limits here. So what I'm going to be building is a rather light armor unit at first. Maybe later on I can incorporate some heavier stuff. These guys, their only purpose is going to be to whack infantry, because that's what I need them to do. I need them to come down here and I need to punch some holes in this infantry. Tanks, I'll hit them with dive bombers or something if they get to be a problem. I don't need something that's going to be able to go over here and fight these rhinos he's got with all these hit points, okay? I mean, I would need medium tanks to do that. So what I'm going to focus on here is just something that's going to pack a wallop and really punch holes in these lines. And that's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to produce armored cars. These armored car units right here, they're going to, where are they? Right there. 8 armored cars per unit. It's only 40 stack points to have 8 armored cars in there. These armored cars have extremely powerful stats against infantry. Not so great against armor. Awesome against infantry. And I got 2 units coming online this turn. If the mud's still here, they're just going to sit there. I'm going to have my plan is probably to build 2 more formations and add it to Rommel's army. And then I'll have 4 formations of armies and armored cars, hopefully about the time this mud starts letting up. Hopefully the mud doesn't take more than 2 more turns. And then now I'm going to unleash him. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to break through this line, hopefully, with these armored cars, with, who's this over here, this new general? Leeb's army, Leeb's infantry, Rommel's armor, and I'm going to punch through this, and I am going to cut this road. I really want to cut this road. It's a major part of my plan right now. I got to cut off these cities, this area down here, from the rest of his production back here. I need to cut them off. I mean, it's going to cut off these factories sending guns down this way. It's going to cause them all kinds of issues, logistically speaking. As far as down here goes, I don't think I mentioned the other part of my twofold plan. One of it was the infantry guns. The other one is right here. Coming in this round, I got some paratroopers coming in here. I'm going a little heavy with air. I've got an air factory. I've been going a little heavy with air. The air's been working good for me. He hasn't challenged me too much in the air. This is just opening the door, I think, for these Fallschirmjägers here. Now, even though there's mud up here, I do not believe mud is going to come down here into this jungle or into these paddies, which means I can still fly planes down here next turn, even if the mud's still there. What I plan to do with these Fallschirmjägers, these paratroopers, is I'm going to drop them back here. I'll send some fighters back here to make sure, but if these 2 spaces are open right here, I think these are 2 ideal spaces right here, or possibly here and here. But this junction right here, I land a paratrooper on that junction right there. This going to really upset the supplies going to these guys over here. And as long as I'm able to disrupt supplies coming to this road, he's going to suffer over here. It takes a lot for these supplies to move through. Paddies are basically like a swamp. I mean, it's horrible movement numbers to get through them. Let's see. Track can't get through it at all. Horse 35. Yeah, it's tough to move through it. It's basically like trying to move through swamp. So anywhere where I can cut the roads, it's going to cause, and that's part of the reason I was thinking here and here. I cut here and here. These supplies are going to have to, supplies come from the city, you're going to have to cross a river, swamps, everything else to get over there. This is going to have to cut down through here. I mean, it's going to really disrupt the supply down here a lot. I need something down here more than just these infantry guns to break through. This is just a nasty mess down here. And I'm hoping maybe some paratroopers might help me out down there. I don't use paratroopers very often, but in this situation, I think they would be useful. So I want to cut supplies down here to help loosen things up, and I want to capture that road. He's got a little thing, he's got some stuff going on up north here. I did a little scouting, I did some airplanes. I don't know what he's going on there. If he does happen to start moving some armor this way, I'll probably just throw some dive bombers in here to help beat him back and just try and hold the line right here. With that, I think we'll go ahead. I'm hitting about my 10-minute mark, which I don't like to go past. And I think with that, I will go ahead and end this video, and I will end this turn, and I'll send it off to the Ironduke, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully I can find a way to break through this concrete wall defense he's got going on down here. And thanks for watching, and tune in for the next episode.